Holy smokes. Just I'm speechless. As most of you know, none of my videos are scripted. I don't really write anything down. I just finished God of War 4, technically. And you know, like, first of all, let's just start off with this. This game's gotten 10s everywhere. It's gotten 10s, I think, on GameSpot and IGN, a few other places. It's gotten 9s, nothing lower than that. And at first, I was kind of skeptical on why I was getting all these reviews, and I didn't want to, you know, jump on the bandwagon and be like, oh, this game's automatically going to be a 10 because they're already saying it. Or I was already in the first few hours of the game. I was trying to find faults in this game that would determine it not being a 10 or like lower than a 9 or just something that's different from every other rating I've been seeing. And I didn't find anything. Like, it's one of those games where it's got praised so much where you want to find faults in it and you want to criticize it. Just like any type of art, you want to criticize it and see the faults of it and, you know, have constructive criticism on a game or like anything really. And I just couldn't do it. So with that being said, that would basically mean that this game's almost perfect. I don't think anything's perfect, but this is the closest this is the closest thing to a 10 out of 10 this generation on a video game that I've played. I've never given a 10 out of 10 on anything else. Even The Last of Us, I gave a 9. Maybe even a 9.5. But this, I'm just going to say right now, it's a 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece. You need to play it. It's one of those games where if you haven't played video games in a long time, this will make you a gamer again. This will make you want to play video games again. And if you're just not a gamer, this can get you into gaming. That's how brilliant this is. That's how amazing this... Hell, I don't even want to call it a video game. I want to call it a work of art. Exactly what it is. It's more than just a video game. God of War for me has always been more than just a video game. As a kid, as a teenager, I've been obsessed with this franchise. It's got me into Greek mythology. It's got me into a lot of things. So for me, it's already more than just a game. So it's a 10 out of 10. In this review, I'm going to talk about maybe one thing I didn't like about the game, but just because it's one thing doesn't mean I'm going to drop it from a 10 to like a 9.5 because I think that's ridiculous. So yeah, first off, I remember... Let me talk about this first. I'm going to compare this to a couple other games and kind of talk about God of War while comparing it to a couple other games that are similar and graphically similar. Okay, so graphically, this is hands down the best game you will play this generation and any generation prior. It's that good. It's arguably the best looking game on console ever made, and it can even compete with PC graphics. And I know a lot of people are gonna dislike that, but it's true. Even whether you play this on high-end 4K resolution on a really good TV, the PS4 Pro, or the regular PS4. I have the regular PS4. This game holds up to PC standards and a high-end PC. So let's just say that. I remember when... So this is the inside. I just beat it like literally an hour ago. I remember when Uncharted came out and The Order 1886, and at the time Uncharted 4 was graphically the best game on console in my opinion. That might be different for other people, at least on the PS4, in my opinion, is one of the best, at least top 2. Maybe another game that was good. And then The Order 1886 came out, which I'm only talking about it because of the graphics, and until then, on Order 1886, The Order 1886 is graphically the best game, realism-wise. Uncharted had a lot of colorful graphics in it, but Order 1886 had the most realistic graphics. And then I remember Horizon Zero Dawn came out like a couple years later. I think it was like last year. It hasn't even been out for 2 years, and I'm like, okay, this is graphically the best looking game on console. So Sony, on one hand, always outdo themselves with graphics with Naughty Dog and Guerrilla and all these companies. So I'm like, alright, Horizon now just blowing me away. I don't think anything is going to get better in this generation than Horizon Zero Dawn, graphically. And that's an amazing game. You can watch my review. And then God of War came out recently. I'm like, how are the graphics still getting better this far into the generation? PS4 has been out for almost 5 years, just like the Xbox One. I'm like, how is it still getting better? And then this game takes the cake graphically. this, you can compare graphics. Horizon Dawn and this are really close. I think this game graphically, like I said, realistic wise, the way Kratos looks, his beard, the snow, the animations, the environment, overall, it's a tad bit better than Horizon. It's almost photorealistic at some point. It's like you can be walking into a room, someone playing this, and for a split second you'll be like, am I watching a movie or am I watching someone play a game? That's how good it is. So hands down, graphically best game. Alright, I'm gonna stop talking about the graphics. Gameplay wise, at first I wasn't so keen on the gameplay. I'm like, is this gonna get repetitive quickly? Am I gonna lock combos and all this stuff? So at first I was kind of skeptical on that. Obviously you can't jump in this game. That's the only downfall. If you can find any ounce of criticism, is that you can't jump. That's it. Camera angle's different, blah blah blah. All the stuff that I was saying, people were saying before the game came out, bashing it because it wasn't like the other God of Wars. It goes all out the window the first hour of the game. You're sold already after that. You can't jump, and that obviously takes away from combinations in the air while you're in the air. But I kind of liked how it's grounded. You don't just jump like an idiot for no reason. You only jump when it's needed. That's the only thing. That's it. The game is perfect every other way. I don't even want to count that as even a criticism or a fault. Like, okay, so the gameplay gets a lot better when you start unlocking more combos and different things for your weapons, and obviously you get armor, which makes you stronger. You unlock different outfits, and like basically everything starts getting better with the combo within like the first couple hours of the game. And then I was like, okay, that was the only thing at the beginning that I was like talking about that I might not like about the game. And then later on in the game, spoiler, there's gonna be a couple spoilers in this after this now. So if you don't want to watch or listen to any spoilers, then I suggest you shut the video off. I'm not going to go into super detail, but you do unlock, or you do get weapon, or a certain weapon that you had in the other God of War games halfway into the game. Just think about that for a sec. I'll let it sink in. Okay. So the entire dynamic of gameplay gets changed. It adds another layer to the gameplay, which is already good enough with the axe, in my opinion. That you can throw it and it comes back at you. All the different combinations you can do with Atreus. Atreus actually isn't annoying in the game. He actually adds... You can actually... If it wasn't for Atreus, you could possibly lose a lot of battles in this game. He actually helps when you use him. You can press square to use him with the arrows. And you unlock more outfits with him too. And stronger arrows, etc, etc. So, Atreus is perfect. He's a perfect fit in the game, and obviously this game is more based on story, just like The Last of Us. They learned from The Last of Us. Not only The Last of Us, gameplay-wise, this game learned from Bloodborne, which a lot of people aren't talking about. Bloodborne and Dark Souls, in my opinion. It has the elements of blocking and reacting to attacks and dodging the right time. If you don't do that, you could possibly die, especially playing on very hard mode, which is like God mode or something. I forgot what it's called. I'm playing on normal, so if you don't do it at the same time, you could die. So it's a lot like Bloodborne in that sense, where you have to be careful when you block, and you sure have to block in this game. So it takes elements of Bloodborne and combines it with the story of The Last of Us, and you have God of War. Amazing. Amazing. Bloodborne's a hard game. I actually had to lower my difficulty from normal to easy at certain times. Certain parts of the game were to defeat these guys that if they hit you a couple times, you're automatically dead. And I was facing them for a couple hours. I got frustrated. I'm like, I need to put it on easy. I admit it. I did that like halfway into the game, and then I went back to normal, kept changing it. I did it like 10 times. And that was just on normal. So it's a bit of a challenge on certain parts of the game. I can't imagine this game on... So, yeah. And let's talk about how some people thought this game was linear or open world, like the comparisons. This is definitely more open world than every other God of War. Let's just say that. So there's really no nagging. You can't really nag about that. It's linear in a sense where you have a direction to go, but you can still explore around and do side missions. With just the side missions alone are 10 hours plus long if you do all of them at once, or you can later on go in the game and do them after you beat the main story. Eventually, once you get to the Lake of Nine, which is a part of the game, not even halfway into the game, a couple hours or so, every side mission kind of opens up, and you can start doing them in this Lake of Nine, which is a part of the game where you meet the World Serpent. So just that aspect alone, like the environment, like how amazing it looks once you actually reach that area of the game, and everything has a purpose in the game. Every character even has a purpose. Like there's no like repetitiveness of dialogue, or like there's always, it's always fun to talk to somebody in the game and unlock certain aspects of the game where you need to progress. It just, and the side missions actually give you so much lore, and you actually find out more about the mythology that you're in, or sorry, the world, which is Norse mythology, obviously, Norse mythology. And the first hour of the game, this is where I'm gonna get into some more spoilers. You face the Stranger, which is one of the best battles I've ever seen in a video game. One of the best boss fights. And you later on find him again, because he doesn't die the first time you kill him. You come back to it, and again, the second time you face him, it's even more amazing. I just, the quick time events are still in this game, by the way. A lot of people are saying there's no quick time events. There actually is. It's definitely a lot less, and it's used a lot better in this game. I feel like it's not every time. So you face the Stranger, the first hour of the game, one of the most amazing boss fights you'll ever do, and then later on in the game, near the end, you face him again, and it's 10 times better. I was like, how do you top from the beginning of the game and later on you face the same guy again, and it's that much better? It's just like the fucking went from gear I don't know, something to like Gear Infinity. It's like it just went from like a I don't know how I'm even making this review, because like I'm so speechless, and the fact that words are actually coming out of my mouth and they're making sense is... Now, like I said, there's hardly any faults in the game. I can't think of much. Like, there isn't. And graphically, most games, graphically, I tried to find little, like, details. I tried to zoom in and see what's not good. In certain games, gameplay and graphics change later on. They get lowered down because there's so much stuff going on. This game, it stays good the entire time. Graphics, like, I can talk about the graphics all day. 10 out of 10. Gameplay, 9.5 out of 10. Story, 9.5. 10 out of 10. I might as well, everything's almost a 10 in this game. This game is, it's a masterpiece. This game will go down as probably my favorite game this generation. And I don't know, I know, you know, what's this called? Death Stranding might be coming out still. I don't know if it's coming out this generation. There's a few other games. You know, Red Dead's coming out. I don't know. Right now, this game, hands down, is my favorite this generation. And if you don't have a PS4, you're missing out. I don't know what you're doing. This game is a system seller. It's a console seller. It's already sold over 3.1 million in the first few days of sales, and it deserves it. Last generation, my favorite, probably hands down, the best game was The Last of Us. Now, you can argue with, I mean, as far as like story goes, maybe it was one of the best. But if you look at The Last of Us, the story wasn't that original. With this, it's a bit more original. So graphically, this is also better than that. So like, am I saying this is better than Last of Us? It's really close. Gameplay wise, this is better than Last of Us too. So this game might be the best game, definitely this generation so far, and almost in the last 10 years. That's how good this game is. And I thought the same of Horizon. Some people might not have Horizon that much, like it too much, but I can't say enough good things about this. And wow, like, what a game. What a game. And it's almost 40 hours long, so they could have added an extra mode, kind of like Horde mode in Gears of War, where you just fight off monsters, but maybe they'll release DLC. It's not really needed because the game's long enough. It's almost 40 hours. Just the side missions alone are like 10 hours long, so it's a huge chunk of the game. So you get your money's worth. They took a chance with this game. They really did. They switched some of the gameplay and improved on it, and the whole world, and it makes so much sense too. Like, they just did such a good job. And I can literally sit here and keep talking about this game and how good it is, but until you play it, and don't just watch walkthroughs on YouTube. If you have a PS4, pick the game up and play the other God of Wars if you have to. If you haven't done it yet, don't just watch walkthroughs. You need to experience this yourself. Please, just, if you don't have a PS4, I would suggest picking up a used one and freaking playing this game. That's how good it is. And if I can't, you know, convince you, there's a bunch of other reviews that have, people are talking about the same thing. It's just people like me and you. It's not companies. It's not IGN. It's not GameSpot. It's just a review. I'm a fan. I've been a fan of God of War since a teenager, since the very first one in 05, and I've seen the difference now, back then till now. And I can say that this game is, this may be the best God of War game out. Arguably 2 still my favorite. 3 was great. 1 was great. Ascension was okay. I didn't play the PSP ones. Maybe the best God of War game. I think it is. So, like I said, I can talk about this all day, but until you experience it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. 10 out of 10. Pick it up. Boy. God of War.